Hello everyone, I'm Katy and welcome to my channel. Continuing with the bows collection, today I'll show you how to crochet this beautiful bow. It's made using a very beautiful stitch. As you can see, we'll be working with some simple stitches, for example, double crochets, single crochets, and chains. So if you know the basics, you're all set. This bow is very versatile. Just one looks stunning, right? So grab your crochet hook, yarn, and let's start creating. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss future tutorials. And if you're already part of this beautiful community, thank you so much and welcome back. For this bow, I'll be using a yarn called Eulalie, which is 1 millimeter thick and made of 100% cotton. I'll crochet it with a 2 millimeter crochet hook, and I'll also need scissors, a tapestry needle, and a measuring tape. Okay, before we dive into the step-by-step instructions, here's a quick note. I'll be creating 4 clusters because the yarn I'm using is quite thin. If you're using a thicker yarn, you'll need fewer clusters to achieve a similar size. So here you have the way how to calculate the base chain. If you're gonna do 4 clusters as me, so you have to multiply 4 times 4, which equals 16 chains. Then add 4 extra chains, giving a total of 20 chains. On the other hand, if you are gonna create just 3 clusters, you have to multiply 3 times 4, which equals 12 chains. Then add 4 extra chains, giving a total of 16 chains. Since I'm making 4 clusters, the first step is a slip knot. So place the end of the yarn over the strand connected to the yarn ball, insert the hook from below, yarn over, pull through the loop, and that's it. We have a slip knot. Next, we'll chain 16 for the base and add 4 more chains, making 20 in total. Okay, here I have my 20 chains. Yarn over and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In that chain number 6, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through the first 2 loops. Then yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops. The first double crochet is done. Let's make 3 more into the same stitch. Here I have 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over and count 1, 2, 3. In the 4th chain, repeat the process of making 4 double crochets. Continue this pattern until you have completed 4 clusters. You should have 2 chains left. We're going to yarn over, and into the first chain that you made, you are gonna do a double crochet. The first row is ready. We're going to do the number 2, so let's go. Chain 4, yarn over to make double crochets, 1 into each of these double crochets, but we are not going to close them. Insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through the first 2 loops. Leave it like this. Let's make the second double crochet, then the number 3, and finally number 4. Close by yarning over and pulling it through all the loops. Next, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then yarn over, and we're going to repeat what we did here. Insert the hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Leave it like this and repeat 3 more times. Here I have the 4 double crochets started, so I'm gonna close them all and that's it. Chain 3 and we're gonna repeat this process into the next stitches. When you finish your clusters, chain 1 and make a double crochet into the chain below to close the row. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we have the second row ready. We're going to yarn over and start row number 3. For this row, we're going to be inserting the hook into the top of the first stitch, and we're going to be making 4 double crochets into that same stitch. Here I have 2, 3, and 4. It's ready. Yarn over and make another group of 4 double crochets into the next stitch. Okay, we already made number 2 and we're going to be repeating this here and here. I have already repeated it into these 2 stitches. So let's close this row by yarning over and inserting the hook into the third chain of the previous row to make a double crochet and then chain 4. Here I have 3 and 4. Yarn over and we're going to repeat what we did in row number 2. Remember that on that row we were starting double crochets, 4 in total. There will always be 4. Here I have 2, 3, and 4. Then we yarn over and pull through all the loops. Then chain 3 to separate one motif from the other. And repeat here and into these 2 stitches. It is basically the same thing we did in row number 2. Row number 4 is ready. We're going to chain 1 and make a double crochet into the third chain of the previous row. For row 5 and beyond, repeat the patterns established in row 2 and 4. Continue until you achieved the desired size. Feel free to rewind the tutorial if you need to remember something. Okay, we're going to create a small and a big bow. For the big one, I have done 60 rows. Now, we're going to make an edge. To do this, we're going to chain 1 and into each of these spaces we're going to be making 2 single crochets. Here we have 1, 2. For the gaps between rows, make 1 single crochet, and as I told you, into the spaces we are going to be making 2 single crochets. We're going to repeat it until we reach the end of this side. Okay, I have finished, so I'm going to chain 1, put the yarn and pull this loop tight, and we're going to be repeating this into this side too, and we're going to start in the same way, 2 single crochets in each space and 1 single crochet in the separation of the rows. Grab the yarn and place it in this way. Insert the hook into this chain, yarn over and pull it. Chain 1, and into this space we're going to make 2 single crochets. When they are ready, make a single crochet into the separation, then 2 single crochets into the next space, and follow this pattern until you reach the end. Here I have already reached the end, so we're going to cut this yarn a little long after chaining 1, and pulling this loop. Later on, this piece of yarn will help you to join these two ends. Okay, for the small bow, repeat the same steps but stop at 24 rows. Also, we need to make another for the bottom part of the bow. It requires 22 rows. I already have them here. As you can see, we have finished one of the designs. To start, row number 23, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work, yarn over, and insert the hook into this stitch. And into this stitch, instead of doing 4 double crochets, we will make just 2. Here we have 1 and 2. Move to the next stitch and make 4 double crochets in the same way. Repeat this in the following stitches as well. I've already made the groups of 4 double crochets. Now repeat what we just did. Yarn over and work 2 double crochets. Here I have 1 and 2. To finish this row, make a double crochet into the third chain from the previous row. That's it for this row. Next, we'll do row number 24, chain 3, yarn over, and start with 4 double crochets into this stitch. Here I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Close all the stitches together, chain 3, and repeat this process in the following 4 double crochets, just as we have done in the previous rows. Once finished, yarn over and insert the hook into the third chain and make a double crochet. Turn your work and we'll start row number 25. For this row, chain 3, yarn over, and repeat the same process, but this time into the space created by the 3 chains. Insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through the first 2 loops. Leave it like this and repeat this 3 more times. Once all 4 stitches are started, yarn over and pull through the 4 first loops on your hook. You're gonna have just 2 loops on your hook, so yarn over and insert the hook into the third chain and make a double crochet. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, then yarn over and pull through the 3 loops on your hook. Chain 1, cut the yarn, pull the loop tight, and repeat this process for the other side. Look over here, I prepared the other end. Since I didn't have enough yarn to this part earlier, I grabbed some to replicate the same steps on this side. As you can see, I chained 3, I made 2 double crochets followed by groups of 4 double crochets, then 2 double crochets at the end, and the double crochet into the third chain from the previous row. Now let's make an edge using single crochets as we did before with the other pieces of this bow. So work single crochets along this side until you reach the end. Here I've worked the entire edge of the bottom part of the bow. At these corners, I made 3 single crochets to create a round effect. And at the top, I made 1 single crochet into the same stitch. Then chain 1. Once I reached the end, I cut the yarn slightly long, pulled the loop, and used a tapestry needle to make an invisible fasten up. To do it, you have to thread the yarn tail through the needle. The first thing we have to do is to identify the first single crochet, this one here. So we're going to put the needle under the first stitch in this way from the front to the back. Pull the needle and then put the needle under the back loop of the last single crochet. Pull the needle, pull this tight enough to be the same size as all the other stitches. Then we're going to hide the end and snip. And that's it. This piece is done. We're going to continue with the center piece. Let's start with a slip knot, then chain 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's count 1 and insert the hook into the second and make a single crochet. Continue making single crochets into the following chains. The first row is ready. We have made 7 single crochets. Let's start row 2. So we're going to chain 1 and make a single crochet into each stitch until we have 7. Okay, here I have my 7 single crochets. We're going to chain 1 and we're going to continue this process until you have 18 rows. We have the 18 rows ready. So chain 1, put it leaving the yarn long enough to join the ends and pull the loop tight. All the pieces are ready to be able to assemble our bow, and before starting I want to give you the measurements. Okay, the center piece is 7 centimeters long and 2.5 centimeters wide. The small bow is 24 centimeters long and 6.5 centimeters wide. The largest bow is 30.5 centimeters long and the same wide as this one. Finally, the bottom part is 29 centimeters. Okay, we're gonna start. First, we're going to join the ends of both small and large bows using a tapestry needle and basic stitches. Once you reach the end, tie a knot. Do the same thing with a small bow. When that's ready, place a marker in the center of the small bow and align it with the larger bow. Secure this with basic stitches and tie a knot. Repeat the same for the smaller bow. Once the bows are ready, stack the small bow on the top of the large one with the bottom piece below both. Wrap the center piece around all 3 layers and stretch it slightly to join the ends. Then we're gonna join the ends with basic stitches. Then tie a knot and hide the ends. If you want to attach a hair clip or a hair tie, this is the time to do it. Use any leftover yarn to secure the bow to the hair accessory, and that's it. Look how beautiful our bow turned out. I'm planning to make more in different colors and even try thicker yarn for a different look. I'll share the results with you in our community soon. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this project. It's trendy, easy, versatile design that's perfect for personal use or selling. Remember, you can tag me on Instagram so I can see your creations. See you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.